beloved, chosen one. Listen carefully. If you are hearing this, it is not by accident. You have been waking up at strange hours, 3 in the morning, 4, sometimes just before dawn. Your body is tired, yet your spirit is alert. Your eyes open, but your mind feels suspended between worlds. You try to return to sleep, but something within you refuses. This is not insomnia. This is not anxiety. This is not weakness. This is a signal. You have felt exhausted even after resting. You have felt emotionally heavy for no visible reason. You have felt as though something unseen has been pressing against your life, and yet at the same time you sense that something is near. A change, a release, a crossing. Beloved, this is the moment the prophets spoke of. Isaiah wrote, "They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles." But before the eagle ascends, it must endure the violent wind. The storm is not there to destroy the eagle. The storm is there to lift it. What you are experiencing now is not punishment. It is positioning. You have been in a season where nothing made sense. Doors closed without explanation. People withdrew without warning. Plans collapsed at the last moment. And you asked quietly, sometimes through tears, "God, what did I do wrong?" Hear this clearly, chosen one. You did nothing wrong. You are not being delayed. You are being shielded. There are forces in the unseen realm that do not want you to cross into your next season. Not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to darkness. The scriptures tell us, light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. Darkness does not argue with light. It tries to trap it, contain it, distract it. And tonight, I must speak to you about the trap. Not a physical trap, a spiritual one. A subtle system of fear, exhaustion, doubt, and false identity. A net designed not to kill you but to keep you stuck. You have felt it. Moments where you almost gave up, but something stopped you. Moments where you almost walked away, but your spirit resisted. Moments where you questioned your worth, but a quiet voice whispered, "You are chosen." That voice was not your imagination. Jesus spoke often about ears that hear and eyes that see. Not everyone hears what you hear. Not everyone feels what you feel. That is why your path has been lonely. Separation is painful, but it is necessary for elevation. Even Jesus was led into the wilderness before his ministry began. 40 days, no applause, no comfort, only testing. And yet, it was there in the wilderness that authority was activated. Beloved, you are in your wilderness season now, but hear me clearly, this season is temporary. It is not a place of abandonment. It is a place of preparation. The pressure you feel is not meant to crush you. It is meant to extract what is divine within you. You have been asking, why do I feel attacked when I am trying to do good? Why does peace feel just out of reach? Why does my soul feel older than my body? Because you are not ordinary. You are an old soul in a new time. A seed planted in hostile soil, a carrier of light in an age addicted to distraction. The ancient texts speak of watchers, of rulers of this age, of systems that blind hearts and dull spirits, not to scare you, but to awaken you. Jesus did not come merely to comfort. He came to liberate, and liberation begins with remembrance. Tonight, you are remembering who you are. Your exhaustion is a sign you have been resisting something unnatural to your spirit. Your loneliness is a sign you have outgrown certain environments. Your confusion is a sign that an old identity is dissolving. This is the shedding. The seed must break before it becomes a tree. And there is something else you must know. The reason the pressure intensified recently, the reason the dreams became vivid, the reason emotions surfaced without warning, is because the trap is losing its grip. When darkness senses it is about to lose authority, it becomes loud. It creates urgency, fear, false timelines. But God does not rush. God aligns. Psalm 91 says, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." There is a secret place, and you have been entering it without realizing. Every time you withdrew, every time you chose silence, every time you refused to react, you were stepping out of the trap. Beloved, tonight is not about effort. It is about alignment. Jesus taught his closest ones not long speeches but keys, simple truths, words spoken with consciousness, not magic, not ritual, authority. There are words that shift atmosphere, words that realign identity, words that remind the soul who it belongs to. And before those words are revealed, your spirit must be ready to receive them. That is why this message found you now. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are early. You are being prepared to speak something tonight, not from fear, but from truth. And when you do, the trap loses its power. Pause here, chosen one. Let your breath settle. Let your spirit lean in. Chosen one, now we go deeper. What you have endured was not random. It was not meaningless suffering. It was a trial of refinement. You wondered why people misunderstood you, why your kindness was questioned, why your silence made others uncomfortable. You wondered why conversations felt shallow, why gatherings drained you, why you felt lonely even in a crowd. This is not social failure. This is spiritual incompatibility. When your frequency shifts, old environments can no longer hold you. Jesus himself experienced this. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. Rejection does not mean you are unwanted. It means you are misplaced. You were never meant to be fully understood by everyone. You were meant to be recognized by a few. And in this season, God removed distractions. He removed noise. He removed false comfort, not to hurt you, but to separate you for elevation. This is the part few talk about. Before promotion, there is isolation. Before clarity, there is confusion. Before authority, there is pressure. Gold is not refined in celebration. It is refined in fire. And you felt the fire. You felt waves of sadness with no clear cause. Moments of doubt that came out of nowhere. A heaviness that tried to convince you that something was wrong with you. Hear me carefully, beloved. This was not depression. This was not defeat. This was a temporary wilderness season. a spiritual detox. Your soul was shedding old attachments, old expectations, old versions of yourself that could not go with you. The Psalms say, "Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." Notice the word "through." You were never meant to live in the valley, only to pass through it. Yet, in the valley, something important happens. Your senses sharpen, your dependence shifts, your inner voice grows louder than external noise. This is why the attacks intensified. The archonic systems, the patterns of fear, distraction, false urgency, they sensed you were slipping out of their reach. So they tried subtler tactics, overthinking, self-doubt, comparing your path to others. They whispered, "You're behind, you missed your chance, nothing is changing." But these are lies dressed as thoughts. Jesus warned that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, not always through catastrophe, but through confusion. If he cannot destroy your body, he will try to exhaust your mind. If he cannot silence your voice, he will try to make you doubt it. That is why your thoughts felt heavier at night. That is why the quiet moments felt loud. But listen, the fact that you noticed this means you are already awakening. Those who are trapped do not question the trap. Those who are enslaved do not sense resistance. Your discomfort was your spirit saying, "This is no longer for you." And God allowed the pressure to continue just long enough for you to outgrow it. Think of the eagle again. When the nest becomes uncomfortable, it is not cruelty. It is preparation for flight. The thorns are added so the eagle does not stay grounded. You were made uncomfortable because staying where you were would have cost you your destiny. This trial also revealed something else. Your strength. You survived days you thought would break you. You kept going when motivation disappeared. You held your integrity when no one was watching. That was not accidental. That was training. Authority is not given to the untested. Wisdom is not given to the unbroken. Even Jesus learned obedience through suffering, not because he was weak, but because suffering forges discernment. And now, beloved, you stand at the edge. You may still feel tired, but beneath that tiredness is readiness. You may still feel unsure, but beneath that uncertainty is alignment. The trial was never meant to last forever. It was meant to strip away illusions. And now something is about to be revealed. A truth that changes how you see yourself. A truth that exposes why the attacks came. A truth that makes the trap powerless. Take a breath here. Beloved, chosen one, now the veil lifts. What you mistook for rejection was protection. What felt like loss was divine restraint. What seemed like silence was strategic covering. You were not pushed away, you were hidden. Psalm 27 declares, "For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret place of his tabernacle he shall hide me." Hidden things are not discarded things, they are preserved. You were concealed because exposure too early would have damaged what was still forming within you. The reason the attacks came is not because you are failing, they came because you are carrying something valuable. Darkness does not pursue emptiness, it pursues light. You see, chosen one, there is a truth few are told. The enemy does not know the future, but he recognizes potential. He senses destiny the way predators sense movement in the grass. He watches patterns. He studies responses. He looks for those whose spirit does not conform. That is why your life has never felt ordinary. From childhood, you felt different, more aware, more sensitive, more perceptive. You noticed injustice deeply. You felt emotions intensely. You questioned things others accepted without thought. This was not weakness. This was calling. Jesus often spoke in parables because truth, spoken plainly, would threaten systems not ready to change. And tonight, the truth must be spoken plainly to you. You are not rejected by God. You are set apart. You are not under attack because you are cursed. You are under attack because you are anointed. The separation you endured was not abandonment. It was assignment. The enemy's greatest fear is not your strength. It is your remembrance. Because the moment you remember who you are, the trap collapses. Let me explain the trap clearly. It is not a cage of bars. It is a cage of identity. You are not enough. You must prove yourself. You are alone. You are running out of time. These are not your thoughts. These are foreign implants designed to keep you disconnected from your authority. Jesus said, "The kingdom of God is within you." If the kingdom is within, then the battle is for awareness. And awareness is exactly what you have been regaining. That is why you pulled away from noise. That is why you lost interest in shallow validation. That is why your spirit craved truth, not comfort. You were not becoming cold. You were becoming clear. Here is the revelation. The enemy cannot touch what is aligned. He can only distract what is undecided. Once your identity stabilizes, once your spirit agrees with truth, once your words match your authority, the attack has no entry point. That is why Jesus emphasized words. By your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. Words are not sounds, they are agreements. And tonight, there is an agreement that breaks the trap. Not a chant, not a spell, a declaration of alignment. 2 words, simple, ancient, precise. But before those words are spoken, you must understand something. They do not work through repetition. They work through recognition. They are not spoken to God. They are spoken from identity. When Jesus faced temptation in the wilderness, he did not argue. He did not panic. He did not negotiate. He said, "It is written." That was not defense. That was authority. The revelation you are receiving now is this. You were never meant to fight harder. You were meant to stand clearer. The trap survives on confusion. It collapses under truth. And truth is not something you chase. It is something you remember. Your spirit already knows. That is why this message feels familiar. That is why your heart is calm even as your mind listens. That is why something within you says, yes, this is it. You are not being rescued. You are being activated. And in the next part, the shift will be declared. The season changes. The pressure lifts. The speed accelerates. Pause here, beloved. Chosen one, this is the turning point. This is where the weight begins to lift. This is where time compresses. This is where what took years to resist loses power in a moment. Hear this clearly. The season of waiting is ending. Not because you forced it, not because you proved yourself, but because alignment has been completed. Ecclesiastes says, "To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven." You were not late. You were not delayed. You were ripening. Fruit does not rush the harvest. It matures in silence, and when it is ready, it falls effortlessly. That is what is happening now. What you feel is not anxiety. It is movement. What you sense is not pressure. It is divine speed. Isaiah declared, "Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it?" Notice the phrasing. Now it shall spring forth. Not slowly, not eventually. Now, this is the shift. The unseen has been rearranged. The resistance has been reduced. The permission has been granted. And the reason this is happening now is because you have stopped fighting the process. You surrendered without quitting. You rested without retreating. You trusted without understanding. That is maturity. And maturity carries authority. Here is where the two words must be introduced, not as mystery, but as truth. Jesus did not teach these words as a formula. He embodied them as a state of being. They are the shortest declaration of freedom ever spoken. They appear on the cross. They echo through Scripture. They end striving and expose deception. The two words are, "It is finished." Chosen one, pause. Do not rush past this. It is finished does not mean life is over. It means the struggle is over. It means the cycle ends here. It means the accusation has no legal standing. It means the trap has lost jurisdiction. When Jesus spoke those words, the veil tore. Separation ended. Access was restored. This was not defeat language. This was completion language. You are not declaring that everything is perfect. You are declaring that the old agreement is complete. The agreement with fear, the agreement with delay, the agreement with unworthiness. Finished. When spoken with awareness, these words realign your nervous system, your spirit, and your perception. Not through magic, through truth, because the mind cannot argue with completion, and darkness cannot negotiate with authority. Tonight, when you speak these words, not loudly, not dramatically, but consciously, you are not asking for escape. You are acknowledging that the exit already exists. The trap was sustained by your uncertainty. Certainty collapses it. That is why the shift feels sudden. Sudden does not mean unearned. It means fully prepared. You may notice changes that feel subtle at first. Clarity instead of confusion. Calm instead of heaviness. Decisiveness instead of hesitation. These are signs of alignment. Psalm 40 says, "He brought me up also out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock." Notice he set your feet. You are no longer sinking. You are standing. And once standing, movement becomes natural. This is divine acceleration, not chaos. Not overwhelm, flow. Opportunities align without forcing. Conversations shift tone, doors open without strain, not because the world changed, but because you did. The archonic systems rely on fragmentation. They lose power when wholeness is declared. It is finished is not spoken to the enemy. It is spoken to yourself. It is the soul agreeing with truth. And once agreement is made, the shift completes. Now, there is only one thing left: sealing, covering, activation through prayer. Beloved, chosen one, now we seal what has been revealed. This is not a performance. This is not repetition. This is alignment. Let your body relax. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath slow. You do not need to strive here. You do not need to impress heaven. Heaven is already leaning toward you. The Psalms say, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness is not passivity. Stillness is authority at rest. Now receive this prayer not as words spoken over you, but as truth awakening within you. Prayer, Father of light, source of truth, ancient of days, I come before you with this chosen one, not in fear, not in lack, not in confusion, but in remembrance. You see them fully. You have counted every tear. You have weighed every silent battle. You have watched every moment they chose integrity over ease. And you declare today, they are not forgotten. They are not late. They are not broken. They are prepared. I ask now that every false agreement made in survival be dissolved. Every agreement with fear, every agreement with delay finished. Every agreement with unworthiness finished. Every agreement with exhaustion finished. Let the words spoken by Jesus echo not only in history, but in the soul of this chosen one now. It is finished. Finished is the cycle. Finished is the accusation. Finished is the confusion. Finished is the hold. Let peace descend not as emotion, but as grounding. Let clarity rise not as thought, but as knowing. I speak calm into their nervous system. I speak order into their inner world. I speak light into every shadowed memory. Where there was fragmentation, bring wholeness. Where there was heaviness, bring rest. Where there was delay, release divine timing. Isaiah promised that those who wait on the Lord would renew their strength. So renew them now. Let them rise not in striving, but in alignment. Let them move not in haste, but in flow. Let them speak not in fear, but in authority. Cover them as they sleep tonight. Guard their mind from intrusive thoughts. Guard their heart from old lies resurfacing. If memories come, let them come without sting. If emotions rise, let them rise without control. This is not regression. This is release. I declare that the wilderness season has completed its work. The harvest season begins. Not loud, not chaotic, steady, clear, grounded. Let discernment sharpen. Let intuition stabilize. Let their yes be clean and their no be firm. Remove distractions disguised as urgency. Remove people who feed confusion. Remove environments that drain clarity, and replace them with peace, with alignment, with divine favor that does not need explanation. Psalm 91 stands as their covering. No weapon formed against them shall prosper, but because they fight, but because they stand. Tonight, let their sleep be deep, let their dreams be clean, let their awakening be gentle. Tomorrow, let them notice the difference, not fireworks, not spectacle, but lightness, a knowing that something has ended and something new has begun. Chosen one, this prayer does not expire. It does not depend on perfection. It rests on truth. Walk forward now, not questioning who you are, but carrying it quietly. You are not escaping life. You are entering it awake, and it is finished.